Hey everyone, welcome back to the Not Just Politics podcast. The following is a conversation with Miles Hanna, his second time on the show. He stopped by to talk musical theater, life, politics, and more. This was a really fun episode. Miles is one of our really good friends, and it's always great to have him in the studio, and a big shout out to him for stopping by pretty last minute, because I couldn't find a guest for the last week up into that episode. So I really appreciated this. It was a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoy it. It's been great being back in the studio, and I can't wait for you to see everything we've got planned. Enjoy. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Now we started the podcast.
Wise words from our leaders. Wise words from our...
Obama. Soda. Please do not come. I'm gonna come. Thank you. Those were all my. I took them out.
I
There you
can't. That's my favorite. These are here to stay. They're never leaving the sound.
They better not.
They're going to be here forever.
They're gonna be like the state. Well, can't talk. They're gonna be the staple.
Yeah, they're going to stay there forever. How's it going, buddy?
What's going? I'm doing pretty well.
That's good. Where were you before this?
I was at rehearsal for Junior Lab.
Very nice. And what were you guys rehearsing?
So what Junior Lab is every junior class they work on a original newly created show, and it's cool because you're working on like this new work, and so like as you know, when it comes to these new works, they're ever evolving. So like you might be working on, let's say like you might be working on this song for like a month, right? Next thing you know, the writer's like, hey, I took that song out, but I'm putting this new song in. And so you have to learn a brand new song, and you just have to like deal with stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that's always like the fun thing about getting new works, because you're on this process you have like, for example, like this baby, you have this like baby, and it's like growing and it's changing. It's like something new by the end of the whole process. Most of the time it really depends. Like some junior labs are really great, and some shows that we get for junior lab are like really great. Some are like okay and maybe not the best shows, but the recent senior class, they really hooked us up by raising enough money for us to be able to do this show called In Pieces from I want to make sure I get the last name right. Joey Contreras.
There was a student here that...
No, he's actually a very successful, famous playwright slash composer, lyricist slash playwright.
Okay.
Like he wrote the show called In Pieces, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's a great show. The music is beautiful. It's amazing. And for our class, we had two separate casts. We had blue cast and red cast, and I'm part of the blue cast, and I'm also the assistant director for blue cast, which is pretty exciting. And we've been kind of like running through like all these different songs, and like making sure that all the ensemble knows like their music and everything, their parts of the music. And like, it's just been like a pretty like really fun process.
I like that. That seems like that seems that'd be a lot of fun. Now, are those plays or musicals, or is it a mix of both?
It's a musical.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like doing musicals. I like plays more.
Yeah.
When I did that, but I still thought musicals were a lot of fun.
For me, really, it's I love a good play. Do I love all plays? No. I'm not. I rather, if you really ask me, what do you want to go see, a play or a musical? I'm probably going to choose the musical, to be honest with you. It depends on what musical it is, but I'm going to choose a musical. Like some of the best plays I've seen, Jitney from August Wilson, Kentucky, which I saw here, and Angels in America was really good. I haven't seen as many plays as I wish I have. Oh, and Little Children was also amazing. I was in that one, but like, I'm not the biggest fan of watching plays sometimes.
Yeah, I think it is a hit or miss for me. I think they're probably more fun to be in than to
Yeah.
watch. That I could see.
But again, it just depends. Like if you saw like
Yeah.
Clyde's, it's amazing.
I've never seen Clyde's.
Watch. I'm pretty sure you could see Clyde's in 2 different places here in Pittsburgh. I'm pretty sure.
So last time you were here, you were talking about your show getting produced.
Yes.
Which then I think almost immediately after that episode came out, you were like, they can't produce my show.
show.
And it was so sad. And then just last night, you said, oh, yeah, they can produce my show again.
Well, let me just clarify. One of the directors who was doing One Acts, who I was in their production of One Acts for a lovely boat ride for killing your spouse.
That's the name of a show.
That's the name of the show I was in.
Wow.
And I played this character, Graham, and my co-star, or my cast / co-star was Hallie Sergio, and I also had Alyssa, Nasa, and our director. Oh, and our assistant director was Anna. Not that Anna, you know, obviously.
Yeah, I know, but if they're listening, they'll know that they got a shout out.
Yeah, they'll know. And Caroline Lipinski, who was the director, and she has to do these things called capstones.
Okay.
And capstones are pretty much like, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure what it is. It's just like a senior project that all the theater arts majors have to do. So they came up to me. I was talking to them about like, oh man, I wish I could do my show and stuff like that. And like they were saying, well, I have to do a senior capstone, and I would love if you would want to co-direct your show for my senior capstone, and then we can have rewrites and everything. And I said, hell yeah, because like, why would I miss out on the opportunity of that? If we can make the show even better and have like other writers part of this, yeah. So it's back on, everyone. It's back on. You can put Obama for that one. Obama. Yeah.
That'd be like our amen
Yeah.
in sermons. We just play that at the Okay. Can you talk a little bit about the creative process for making a new musical?
Okay. 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 So, obviously it starts with like an idea and everything. And, I think it depends. Sometimes like it starts with the music, or it starts with like the book itself, and the book meaning like the dialogue and all that. But like I would say I'll talk about my process. My process is that I'm usually the person who starts out with the book. So I like sometimes like an idea comes to me. Like recently I came to this idea of like maybe doing a musical about a college student. Because I think a lot of times we tend to have a lot of shows that are about high schoolers and not particularly like college students.
I would say that you get a bigger range of an audience if you do high school students, because like most people go to high school.
True, but it's true. No, you're right about that. And that makes sense. But I do think that there is a sort of different type of growing that you have to do when you're in college that I think a lot of people can relate to, even if you're not in college.
I can see that, yeah.
Because there's this like transition between being a child, like, because you're still a child in high school, right? And then like actually being an adult and having to like survive without having like your parents or your guidance figures like picking you up and everything, and like making sure that you have food on the table and everything, doing their best and everything. So it's like I was interested to be like, what if I wrote a show about that? So I have my idea, right? Then I'm like, okay, well, how many characters do I want? Who do I want my principal to be? What's my theme? What am I talking about? What's going to get the audience? What are they going to relate to? Once I have that, I make a whole outline. Like when I tell you I make a whole outline, I mean, I have an outline of like the characters. Now, sometimes I'm lazy and I don't really finish like with the characters, like backgrounds and everything. Cause a lot of that stuff kind of comes when you just start writing. Like it's just like, okay, like this character's last name, they have a parent, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like writing. And finally, and the character's already kind of created, bless you, without me having to actually like write a whole backstory as a paragraph instead of just like putting them in the show.
Yeah, I think that's sort of like Quentin Tarantino said one time that whenever he's writing a new movie, he makes the character, and then as he's going through the first half of the movie, the character changes a little bit.
Yeah.
And then by the time he gets to the second half of writing the show, he lets the characters take the story away from him.
Pretty much.
He doesn't. He knows them well enough that they will
Yeah.
guide the story.
Exactly. And that's because I'm going to be honest with you, and I think every writer does this. They just do this instinctively. A lot of the times the characters are just pieces of themselves.
That makes sense. You
Yeah.
kind of project yourself. into the
Exactly,
show.
because like that's the only thing you know, right? I mean, yeah, sometimes your characters can like show traits of like your friends and people that you know, but like most of the time they're just small pieces of yourself because we are very complex people and we're not just one single thing, right? And I won't lie though, that quote of like being in pieces is literally a direct quote from the writer of In Pieces, who we got a chance to meet and had a Zoom thing, questionnaire thing and everything. And he was like, and he said it, all these characters are just pieces of me, which was like perfect, right? And that just encapsulated the whole show of In Pieces. But next I would say is like you find a composer, because you want to figure out, well, what's your genre? You know what I mean? What style do you? I feel like, was this something like Trump said at one point? Like he said genre in a weird way.
No, I think the one time Eminem said that he liked the gender of rap
Right.
instead of genre of rap.
Yeah. I think that might have been what I was thinking.
You know what that was? You know what's so funny? When I was in, oh God, what was that? I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And Weird Al Yankovic came to Pittsburgh. Me and my friend went to the show.
Yeah.
And that was one, because Weird Al interviewed Eminem, and that's where he said it. He was like, I really feel like the whole gender of rap. And Weird Al like stop him and like slow it down a little bit.
Wait. Can we clarify that real quick?
Yeah. And Eminem just kept being like, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. He just kept going like over and over again, just kept saying it. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, once you figure out your genre of how you're gonna, because for the show recently, I wrote this show called Monty Meet Me. It's not really that recent, but I've been writing this show since sophomore to junior year of high school. Was it? Yeah, no, it was I'm pretty sure it was sophomore year of high school, because they did Hello Dolly, and at the time I was like, the people that they chose weren't really great actors, and I was just like, well, like also my choir teacher was whatever, but anyway. I was like, well, they can't do this. Like, I could do this. Like, this is bull crap. Like, they just chose these people because they're part of like chorale or whatever, which is like the traveling like choir and everything. Again, I also want to clarify, I love all the people from the chorale. They're all great people. But I was like, this is bull crap. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write a better show than Hello Dolly. Anyway, so I started writing. I create the characters, like I said. I go through my whole process, and I wrote this show pretty much all through winter break. Like, you can ask my mom. I was sitting in my room listening to music, writing away, just like constantly. Went downstairs, wrote in my room, writing. And originally the show was called Prom Night.
It's a bit of a jump.
Yeah.
Monty and me.
There's Monty Meet Me, just to clarify.
Meet Me.
Yeah,
Oops.
yeah. But it was called Prom Night, not to be connected to the show Prom. I called it Prom Night because it was about this black kid who was dealing with like finding his identity and everything, and he wanted to take this girl out to prom, and that was like pretty much like what it was. And I had all these different characters and everything, and then like next thing you know, I'm at dinner with my family, and they're like, have you heard of the show called Prom? I'm like, Prom? What is that? And I look at, I'm like, no, I can't call it Prom Night, because it was seem weird that like, because at the time, this is when my identity, I saw myself as being straight, and I would think, oh my gosh, if I did a show like Prom Night and it was about a straight couple, when there's a show called Prom, that would have been like a deep fake.
Yeah.
Without like actually like trying to like do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so fast forward, I think it's like senior year of high school, I'm still writing it, and I come to this idea of changing the name because the name was also Alexander. Yes, Alexander Hamilton. You clearly
Yeah, you were like trying to do the deep fake.
yeah,
AI
all
thing.
literally. And someone was like, why don't you name the character Montgomery? And I was like, okay, that's a cool name. Now there is a musical called Full Monty, but anyway, but you know what? I'm not changing the name. I like Montgomery. It's a cool name. I get to college and I tell them about this show I've been writing, Monty Meet Me. And I told them about what how I wanted to be, what's like, blah, blah, blah. And people read it and they were like, Miles, this wasn't really what you were saying. Because the show kind of evolved. And after that, I rewrote the show entirely. And it started to be about police brutality. Because, mind you, this was a time where the BLM movement was at its highest. I'm not saying it's still prominent, obviously, but like the marches and everything are so prominent and everything. And police brutality is still like a talk in the news, even though it happens every day. But, it's always, what the news is like, oh, what's the new thing? But I was like, what if I wrote a show about that and about my experience with my own experience with police officers being, not all police officers, but the police officers I had experience with not being the best people. And now it's a show about, it's still a show about this black kid trying to figure out their identity, and it kind of concerns like mirrors, and it's a really cool show. And like one day I'll talk about it, but like yeah. So,
And oh my gosh, I went to the health center and they think I either have like a little bit of a cold or it's that COVID after symptoms stuff.
Right.
I'm just coughing all the time. I'm sorry. I'm going to try not to cough.
It's okay.
I'm going to try not to for the people listening.
You have what's that thing that like some dogs get when they're in a when they get boarded? It's called like what is it called?
Oh, I don't know.
It's like cabin cough, or I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know. Either way.
anyway.
Okay, so so did you write the music for this show, or are you going to someone else for that in some situation?
I'm going to someone else for that one because
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you, writing music is hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've written like one song, and I can't do it. It gives me like anxiety.
And I guess they should have specified. You're writing lyrics?
So some writers do. I don't know. I want to write lyrics per se, but I kind of want to see if someone else can do that.
Okay, so you're allocating the entirety of the music to somebody else.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, because writing the actual music part is tough, but I feel like the lyrics could be potentially even tougher.
Yeah.
Especially because you have to fit it into the rhythm, you have to fit into the beat, and you have to that kind of thing, and that part could be really tough, especially after you've gone through the entire process of writing the whole show. Then you have to try to fit that into
Yeah, and like I tried with like writing the lyrics but it's like now working on end pieces, I feel like I have a more basis of what I want the music to sound like.
That's good.
Because I wish y'all can listen to the music, because I don't know if you all get copyright striked or whatever.
One of our episodes did for our intro music, but we think it was just a bot going through there and just deciding it was like a mistake.
What do y'all want to hear?
Yeah, play something for us. Gavin, can we? Okay, yeah, Gavin can overlay it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Because I just want y'all to hear.
Yeah, just put it up to the mic whenever you play it.
Got you. Let me choose the song that we were working on recently today. I think it's yeah. That's the part.
And this is from
End Pieces.
In Pieces. Okay.
Where's the Here it is. Oh, wait, that's not the part. There's this part where There's this is part of music where it's all harmony. Where is Anyway, there's this part in the music where it's like complete harmony, and it's such a crunchy chord, and it just seeps into your soul.
That sounds like that has like, okay, I don't know which one came first.
Yeah, go ahead.
But that sounds like that took inspiration from Wicked or one or the other.
I mean, really,
To me, at least.
Yeah, I think what Wicked is it's contemporary, and I think I'm not the biggest fan of Wicked, but also I don't really like take the time to listen to it because I'm not that interested.
Oh, so you've never actually seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. Then that would have no context. Then.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, that sounds like you could have probably tossed that into the Wicked soundtrack and it would have possibly believed you
Really?
that it was there. Yeah, it sounds very similar.
It's very beautiful music.
But I like the Wicked soundtrack.
Yeah.
So I like that.
No, because it's very pop.
Yeah.
It's very pop, and like I starting to realize like, oh, go ahead. You were gonna say something.
No,
Oh,
you're up.
I'm up.
Yeah.
I was starting to realize that I like singing music like that now. I don't sometimes like singing like the regular just musical theater stuff. I feel like my taste in music has, especially in theater, has elevated and has been really weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
With that being said, how does music play a role in the storytelling and the emotional impact of like a theater production?
Whoa, man, you're asking questions.
That question was sponsored by Chat.
You want to ask it again? Just make sure I
Yeah.
answer
There we go.
in full.
How does music play a role in the storytelling and emotional impact of a musical theater production?
Okay, well, I mean, I'm sure this is like musical theater 101. The reason why characters sing is because they're so elevated with the emotion and so caught up with their emotion that all they could do is sing. And when they're more elevated while they're singing, all they could do is dance.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just like basis of musical theater. So it's like, because music also changes people. Music inspires people. Music can make people really sad. Music can connect you to memories and emotions that you didn't even know you even had. So.
Mm. Can we discuss the influence of different cultural and societal influences on the development of musical theater? So what's the role of different cultures of people
When it comes
that are
to musical,
involved?
when
Yes.
it comes to musical theater,
Yes.
That's a hard question. You want to be more specific?
That question was also sponsored by ChatGPT. No, so I guess
Uh-huh.
yeah, well, I don't even know how to get more specific with that. I'm guessing like, is there? So I think maybe that comes down to like the projecting. Like if you're putting yourself into the musical that you're writing, do you think that the culture that you grew up in is also impacting that show?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Oh my gosh, for sure. Like In the Heights, for sure is.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Yeah, like if
100%.
that's the answer to that one. Like definitely what Lin-Manuel grew up with is so much into that music, and you can tell when it's a Lin-Manuel song. There are certain composers when you listen to them and you're like, oh, that's Lin-Manuel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Joey Contreras. Oh, that's Sondheim.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, not just like their culture, but like who they are, and like the people who they become impact the music entirely.
Yeah, it seems like that would be a thing, and I'm also curious about, like if that. So I also feel like whenever I went to see Spring Awakening, it seemed like a little bit of like their political culture almost in a way got embedded into that show, because there was and I forget the characters' names, but there was a kid that was, he was like socialist, or at least, or something like that. And he was like talking about,
Oh, Melchior.
yeah, that stuff in that book that he was writing.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like that may have been something that the director also is experiencing in the world around them that they then projected into the show.
Funny thing was, that makes more sense that he was a socialist. I didn't know what he was. I just thought he was like learning.
Well, I don't know if he was, but he was at least talking about those ideas
Right.
in that book that he was writing.
Yeah.
And the kid that was playing him was very passionate about it, which I'm guessing was what the character was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
That show was so good.
Yeah.
That show was great. But I'm just curious about that because it feels like then in a way there would be, well, this is also kind of obvious too, but there are then certain musicals that have more of an impact on different groups of people that will then be enjoyed by that. So then I'm curious then if you wanted to cast a show that was written by you, you're going to have a different experience than me. But if I was casted in your show, that in a way, that's an interesting way to introduce me to the world that you're living in. Because instead of us talking about it, you're having me play somebody in your world.
Right. And I think that kind of breaks the barriers when sometimes you have people who are like, they choose not to understand because they can't live in your shoes. But if they had to play a character in your shoes.
Yeah, I had to literally play a character
Yeah.
that is a piece of you.
Right.
So that's actually really interesting. Well, that's kind of another thing, because I saw a post on Instagram. Someone, I forget who it was from. I think it was from, oh gosh, it was from Noelle Finch, who is a political commentator of some sort.
Okay.
She made a post that said, facts don't change minds, friendships do. Which I think is really interesting, because we're sort of living in a time whenever people are bringing their own set of facts to the table. But if you and I are friends,
Right.
and we think differently about something, and that would be a much easier way for me to have a different mindset about it.
Right.
'Cause I'm at a human level with you.
Right.
So that could be even more powerful if I have to play somebody in the show that you wrote for me.
I think that's 100% right.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. Because like I have a character in my show called Zeke, and he's white, and his role when Monty is like currently being brutalized, and you see how Zeke kind of is reacting to this, having his friend be a victim of this. Because like watching on the news and being a full victim, and I'm not saying for black people, because again, like we experience stuff like this all the time, and not just black people, obviously, like a lot of POCs. It's interesting to see how he might feel about his friend being a victim of this, and that he couldn't do anything about it.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he's thinking, okay, this is a police officer. They're doing their job, as I say in air quotes.
Yeah.
I want to do something, but I can't do anything.
Yeah.
And I think it would be interesting for someone to play that. Because I think you really have to like change your mindset about certain stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I think so. That would definitely require that. That's sort of an interesting thought experiment to take someone. It's like kind of asking somebody to argue against their own perspective.
Right.
But now you're having them play. That's really interesting, actually. That could be really powerful.
But that's theater. It's like that's theater. Like there's going to be times you're going to be playing, like if I was, like there are going to be times you're going to be playing characters that you just probably don't agree politically with, and you have to make yourself believe that because you have to be the character. And if you decide, and if you go on in life and start to be like, well, actually maybe they're right, or opposite, that's on you. But like, I know there's a lot of time where if you really get into a role long enough, you start to really understand that role from a deeper level, to the point where you're like, man, I believe in that stuff.
Have you been in a situation like that?
personally, no. I don't think there's really been a character per se that I've connected on such a deep level that it changed my life. Maybe one time, but not really.
Yeah.
Because I don't particularly feel like I've always played a character that kind of that's near and dear to my heart, per se.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so you've never really... Has anything come... You said like one time. Has anything sort of come close? And what's the reason for that, do you think?
Maybe Otto. But I feel like Otto...
What show is that in?
That's Spring Awakening.
Okay.
I personally feel like how Otto in the play is different character from Otto in the musical. Because there's a lot of stuff that they don't say in the play that they do in the musical. Because like at the end of the day, Spring Awakening is just a rock concert. That's like the details of it. Other than like the political stuff you were talking about and like the kids growing up, learning about their sexuality and everything. It's a rock concert, and nothing wrong with that. It's just how it is, in my opinion. But I get because like Otto was young, and like he gets to just wild out and just have fun. But even still, I haven't had that ability to play a character that I can really just like relate to or really learn something from per se, because I feel like I was learning more about the technical stuff, but not about the character.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Mm.
So do you think at a certain point you ever get past that where you know enough about the technical stuff that you can get into a deeper relationship with the character that you're playing?
I think right now, well, actually, I would say maybe in class.
Okay.
Because I would say Homer. I did Floyd Collins with my friend Braden. That was like our class assignment. Because an acting through song, at the class I'm at an age I am now, we do duets, right? Currently, right now, we're doing a group scene. I'm doing it with a couple of my classmates. And I really related to Homer. And because I think to get to that level, you need to be playing a character that has enough stuff written for them. Mm-hmm. And not saying you can't do that with ensemble, because you can definitely do that with ensemble stuff. But it's like, I feel like I'm kind of going through the motion sometimes.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel that way during like acting through song. Like currently right now we're doing falsettos for like a group thing. And this is interesting because falsettos, at least that part of falsettos, is about this gay couple, and one of them is suffering from AIDS.
Okay.
And this is pretty kind of mid time during the AIDS crisis. Mm-hmm. You know, because lack of information and people not understanding it and people thinking it's like what we would call like COVID and everything, and which like it wasn't. It's just like people just didn't understand, obviously. And now it's me as someone who's starting to understand their identity as queer. How do I feel about that? Mm-hmm. And like, how is that going to really impact me? If I was in that time period and I was seeing how my friends are dying or slowly dying, and like I don't know if I'm at risk, there's gonna be a lot of character work I have to work on, and I think it's gonna be very interesting. I think Marvin's gonna be a character I can really relate to. So yeah,
I think there's one thing I sort of had trouble with whenever there wasn't a whole lot written about my character, as I had trouble getting past what was written and making up, like filling in any gaps that were in their story. That part there were some people in the productions I was in high school that were so good at that.
Right.
They could write pages about this character.
Yeah.
A sentence written about them. And I couldn't get past that part sometimes.
Well, it was interesting because like we learned to like what's the text saying? What does the text say about this character? And it's a balance. What does the text say about this character? And what are my subtexts? Mm-hmm. And subtext can be hard. It can be hard sometimes because it's like, yeah, it's something that just be hard. I don't know. I don't have anything to say for that one, but yeah.
Yeah, that part's. I wonder. I imagine those people that are on Broadway can probably just write pages about their characters.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people on Broadway. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Most of the time, I don't know if everyone's doing that.
No.
Like I
You don't have to. In
right. I
certain
think
situations.
at a certain time in your career, you had all this success and like you've been doing it for so long, you might not really need to like write dramaturgies all the time. I'm not saying you shouldn't, because sometimes the people who do all the later little minor details are the ones who are getting like the most out of the experience and are probably getting the most like best performances. But also there's people who might not be doing that and are also getting best performances.
So I don't know if you know anything about this, but I'm curious because I don't know if this happened before Heath Ledger, but like, did him committing suicide sort of wake a lot of people up? Because that was method acting, right? He was a method actor.
That was method acting.
So was that sort of a moment whenever people realized how far somebody could take it, and did that sort of like put a little bit of hesitation out there about method acting?
I think commercialized that did. Like, and commercially, yeah. But there's been like method actors. Like there are times where this is why we have equity. But I've heard stories about like that there's multiple actors who've gone so deep into the character that it was almost dangerous being around them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And like with the Heath Ledger situation, I think we also have to like realize that a lot of that stuff is also like just having outside mental, emotional like issues.
Oh, I'm sure he had mental health problems.
Yeah, or
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people in Hollywood do. But to be able to play that character in that way, there was probably something going on.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
And it's unfortunate because, well, his family,
obviously, yeah.
And like, the man, it's too bad that he didn't have the chance to create more art.
Yeah, because it's an incredible performance. That movie is amazing.
It's probably like one of the best Batman movies of all time in my opinion.
I don't even consider that to be a comic book movie. That just feels like a movie to me. It's so good.
It's like, number one, Christopher Nolan. When I get into movies, I want to be in a Christopher Nolan movie.
I'm so excited for Oppenheimer.
Oh,
Oppenheimer's coming out later this year. I'm so excited.
It's gonna be so good.
Have you seen the cast list for that movie?
No.
It's insane. It's like Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, Cillian Murphy, Blake Lively, Florence Pugh, which, first of all, that's enough for me to go see him. If she's in a movie, I'm going to see her.
That's a dream cast.
It's a crazy cast. It's nuts.
Wow.
That might have been and then obviously there was that headline came out where they got the atomic bomb with only practical effects. But I think Vice wrote the headline, and the way they wrote it made it sound like he definitely just detonated a nuke for the movie.
He had to test it out. He had to see if it worked.
We only have one shot, guys. We can't just keep doing this. 27 takes of the atomic bomb going off. It radiates the whole planet. The planet's just dead, and everyone's gone.
Literally, Last of Us currently.
Yeah.
No,
but seriously, I'm curious how he did that. I'm assuming it was sort of like what they did with the tumbler, where it's just a mini. It's just a tiny explosion.
Well, he literally did the science to create an actual authentic black hole.
Yeah, that part's
That's not surprising.
I need to rewatch Interstellar because I saw it in theaters when it first came out. I was really too young to appreciate movies back then, so I was just kind of like, the movie was okay, and I haven't seen it since. And I've heard people just talk about it so much. I need to rewatch it.
Matthew McConaughey can fucking act.
Yes, he can.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, he can.
He can act. That's probably one of my Interstellar and Inception are probably like two of my favorite movies of
Inception's
all time.
A great movie.
Inception is so good.
Great movie.
And too bad they can't make a second one because there would be no reason.
Memento's really good too, but I have to really pay attention. You haven't seen Memento?
Like, no.
Memento's hilarious because, like, I don't know if people can see this. I think it's out of frame. But like, Nolan has a chalkboard, and he's like, "Now here is Memento as a story."
Yeah.
Now, most people do it like this. It's a line.
Yeah.
But I decided to kind of do it like this, and he draws like a C.
Yeah.
And he's like, now the beginning of the movie is actually somewhere like here in the middle. He's like, and then it's actually really cool.
Yeah.
There are some scenes of that movie that are in black and white, and there are some in color.
Yeah.
Now the scenes that are in black and white, I believe I'm correct in this, but someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Gavin, could you look this up? Potentially,
Gavin, our lookup person.
Producer Gavin's in the house. I think the scenes in black and white are going backwards in time.
Yeah.
And the color scenes are going forwards in time. And then they're like spliced together in this goofy timeline to make the movie. And and I think the scenes go in like 5-minute chunks, and it goes from like beginning to end, but then some of them it's crazy.
Dude.
And he wrote all that out and just said, yeah, that's a movie. That's good. This is the one. His brain just doesn't work
He's
like a
a
normal
scientist.
His brain doesn't work like a normal human.
Is he
Just
like?
doesn't.
Where did he go to school?
You know what's crazy? He has a brother that is, I think, like a nuclear physicist.
I knew it. He has to.
Yeah, his brother. I think his brother helped him with some of the stuff on Interstellar. It had to have.
Because
His brother's a scientist, I think.
like, this is my thing. He definitely has to have like a high IQ
100%.
to think the way that he does.
Of course.
The fact that he made an authentic black hole that even scientists who study black holes are like, that's really accurate.
That part alone is impressive because that is something that you could have just skipped over.
Yeah,
if
you
were being-
really could have made that shiznit up, and no one would, and like it still would have been really good.
And the scientists could do their actually.
Yeah,
Like, no
exactly.
one
But
gives
no,
a fuck
he-
because it's a good movie.
Literally, he literally said, let me stop y'all scientists from being like, well, actually, this is like this. No, let me make an authentic black hole.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the weird thing about his movies is that they're weirdly based in reality that you can believe that some of the stuff happened.
Okay, so his brother's not a scientist.
Oh.
I don't know where I heard that from. Or it's like somebody in his family or something like that. I don't know. But either way, yeah, I need to rewatch Interstellar.
Rewatch
for
Interstellar.
Sure. But
It's
you need to watch Memento too. Memento's crazy.
That-
You have to like watch it twice almost to understand it.
Yeah.
Actually, after you watch the video of him explaining the storyline, it's a little easier to understand.
Yeah.
But it's like this guy's a psycho. It's psycho movie organization of the scene.
Right. It's like watching Tenet. I can't watch Tenet.
Tenet is
I've
a
watched it a few times.
banger. You do.
It's
yeah.
so long
It's
though.
mad. It's like, hey, Miles, we're actually gonna watch Dune 15 times. You get all the dudes like, I can't sit through 15 and watch through of Dune. It's so long.
Dune was like, okay, I tell this story all the time. I was watching it with my roommate, my old roommate Sam, and we're watching the movie. I fall asleep.
Did you fall asleep?
Yes. I wake up and I'm like, this movie is still going on. It's crazy.
You got a full night's sleep and we're just getting into Act 2.
We're just getting to Act 2. Like, imagine reading a freaking book, bro.
Listen, I got the books and I tried,
Dude.
and then I didn't anymore.
Dude.
Have you played like the board game at all?
No,
my
but
God. There's a board game?
no, but we should play it. We should look into acquiring that.
Corey has it.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Well, then he needs to come over and bring it,
That's
and we can play it.
dude, the book has its own glossary of
That's-
words.
Yeah, that's nuts.
like, imagine having that, like, that.
That lore.
Yeah, that lore.
I wanted to read it because George Lucas took inspiration from that for Star Wars, like pretty obviously.
Yeah,
Like, that'd
yeah.
be cool. It'd be fun.
I mean, Tatooine, Dune,
It's-
that's pretty.
It's crazy,
pretty on
dude.
the
Those books
nose.
are. It's nuts.
Yeah. And there's
It's
like,
so much.
how many are there? Like 4 or 5?
No, dude. There's like he made a ton. I think
you
there's like
serious?
13.
What?
Not like the original series, but he did like prequels and like side stories and all
Still?
this stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Okay. I should have said 13 before I looked it up because it might not be anywhere close. But I remember I looked at the series and there were so many of them.
You could like, dude, that could be the next like biggest thing. You could have TV, Disney Plus, get on that.
Oh
You-
gosh.
you
Yeah,
have-
there's 14 Dune books. There's 14.
Oh my.
Because there's like there's books of like there's one about like the emperor and there's one about like all the different people and there's like, all the
Oh,
different.
okay,
So he
okay.
goes off with that one.
I
Kind of
look,
like the Percy Jackson books. There's mad Percy Jackson.
There's a lot of
There's-
Percy
there's
Jackson
spin-offs and the spin-offs are actually really good.
what are I tried? I think I read one spin-off. I read one. Okay, I love Percy Jackson.
When's that show coming out on Disney Plus? It's coming out soon.
Is it? I haven't
It
seen
was- it
any
was
trailers
supposed
on
to.
it.
I don't know. I haven't seen trailers. They haven't marketed that thing.
I mean, but most of the
Yeah.
time they're not gonna market until it's like really coming out.
Yeah, that's true.
Because because it's always crazy when it comes to these movies, and especially like when they're like kid leads, they start them like super early, and they're still filming all of them, so then they can just release them like yearly.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they're going all the way to when he's like a teenager and like he becomes like the Roman Percy Jackson and that whole thing.
What do you got, Gavin?
Late 2023 or sometime in 2024.
They must have got bumped back because I thought it was coming out earlier than that.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be 2024.
I don't know. Either way,
It's definitely gonna be 2024.
probably. Because I feel like we'll probably start seeing trailers of some sort.
Oh yeah,
This year at least.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, that's crazy. I thought Doom was good, but it's long.
It's,
It's
long.
long.
Tenet's good.
Tenet's crazy.
My only issue is there's so much talking.
And it's the usual Christopher Nolan. Like, this is the audio level for the environment.
Yeah.
And the characters' mics are like here.
Right, and
So
then
you need subtitles.
and there's so much like they're but I love those scenes in Christopher Nolan scenes because they're kind of like it's so engaging sometimes, but also at times it can be very like, what are y'all talking?
It's overwhelming at
It's
times. 'Cause the audio,
overwhelming.
the music's like way up here.
Because like literally like when they were trying to explain like how it works, the literal doctor was like, "Don't ask. It's just how it works."
Yeah.
Like,
Christopher Nolan characters don't even know what's going on in
They
his own
don't
movies.
know.
They don't even understand.
that was improv. The doctor was like, "Don't ask."
Yeah.
It's just how it works.
Christopher Nolan gave them the plot, and he was like, not improvise, and they were like, let's just all agree
Yeah.
to not know what's going on,
On.
so that the viewers can be confused along with us.
Christopher Nolan,
That's like
please.
what it was.
Like he was like, Denzel Washington's son was like, wait, what's his name? I can't just keep calling him Denzel Washington's son. He deserves his own name.
Oh, David.
David Washington.
David something Washington. Denzel Washington's son.
Like I can't keep, like he deserves way more respect.
Why do I want to
for
say
that.
David West? That's not right.
Hopefully he's like David West.
I don't know.
That's a cool name though, David West
It's
Washington.
it's David. I know his first name is David. That I know.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, that movie is just like it's mad confusing to
Like-
watch. The first time through, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch that again another time though, because I'm not sitting through it again."
Right. Because like
Too
David
long.
was like, so wait, how does it work?
John David Washington.
John
David
Washington.
Washington.
I
Okay.
got his middle name.
JD. I'm calling him JD from now on. He deserves to have his full name, not Denzel Washington's son.
That is pretty baller though.
JD.
To be Denzel Washington's son.
Oh yeah,
That'd be
but
sick.
but I think that's also like a lot of pressure.
But that is true. I've heard that he's very good though. I think I've only seen him in Tenet and maybe one other thing, but he's been good.
Black Klansman.
I did not see Black Klansman.
You need to
What?
watch that.
I know. Listen to all the viewers. Last night, every time we're hanging out, and there's one movie I haven't seen, it's like I've committed some
I'm sorry.
crime.
He's never seen Monster House, which is like a
Or any of the Willy
Wonka movie. He's never seen me. Okay, the rest of
But
us
like,
are
what have I
having
done wrong?
this whole conversation about Willy Wonka, about which one is creepier, the Gene Wilder version or the Johnny Depp version, and he's like, "Yeah, I've never seen the Willy Wonka series."
Well, first of all, Gavin was like, "Them kids deserve what happened to them." He was like, "They're all just dumb, not
Right.
listening to him."
then-
One of them, and then mind you, I've never seen the movie,
Right.
And all I hear is like, "Yeah," and then he incinerated one of them kids, and I'm like, "Yo, hold on." Gene Wilder is incinerating them kids. One of them apparently he got filled up with chocolate and drowned. I'm like, "What is good?" I
That
didn't know
was-
anything about the movie. I've never seen them before.
Wait, was that? There were certain. I know for one kid they changed it, because one kid went into the TVs.
How? Like what? That's what I'm talking about.
He wanted to be, Mike TV wanted to be the first person ever to be transported through television.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
but I know in the Gene Wilder version that didn't happen. Wasn't it different?
No, it was the same.
It was the same. Okay.
But anyway, it's like I've committed some crime.
Yeah.
They're like, "How have you not seen this?"
Because,
And I
like,
get it. They're classics. I understand.
Well, because like Pure Imagination is one of those songs that will go out and through time is like one of the, like as like one of those like beautiful cult classic songs, right?
Yeah.
And then like one of the famous scenes of Willy Wonka is when he's staring at the kids. They're in like this rowboat because it's like one of his like weird like contractions like whatever. He's in this rowboat and there's like flashing lights behind him and he's just staring at these kids and you see all these like creepy ass images and everything. That scene is like iconic
So goofy.
because Gene Wilder is like a really great actor.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in anything.
I've only seen him in Willy Wonka. I think I've seen him in other stuff. But he's like
I know he's in that comedy with Richard Pryor as See No Evil, Hear No Evil, which is like, it's a comedy. It's like a blind guy and a deaf guy and they're best friends.
Have you ever seen Blazing Saddles?
that
No.
sounds familiar. Yeah.
I have not.
It's like a spaghetti western.
I love-
parody
Mm.
movie.
I love spaghetti
So it's a
westerns.
comedy the whole way through. It's hilarious.
Well, maybe we'll have to watch that then, along with the 17 other movies I haven't seen.
Yo,
apparently.
we're gonna watch Monster.
Frankenstein is another one.
I love Young
This is a Young
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein musical.
Oh, Gene Wilder's in Young Frankenstein. Oh, then I have seen him. I love Young Frankenstein. That movie's great.
This is a Young Frankenstein musical.
Oh, there is?
Yeah,
Is it good?
yeah, it's pretty. Good.
That would be I would go watch that.
Pretty good. I mean, like,
That movie's a classic.
what was I gonna say? Wait, what's your question thing? Your question generator?
Chat GPT.
Yeah, ask me about Power Rangers. I'll talk about that shit, isn't it?
So, like, you gotta, like, paraphrase.
You have to give it
Um,
something to work with.
Okay.
Give me questions about the Power Rangers in the style of a Doja Cat rap. Or something. Yeah,
Is
people-
there actually questions?
no,
about-
no, listen, people. Somebody asked for the Book of Job in the style of a Doja Cat rap, and it actually gave it to them.
No way.
Hilarious. It was honestly not terrible.
Can we do that? Can we do something like that?
Power Rangers rap in the style of Doja Cat.
Yes.
This episode has taken the. Where are we now?
I don't know.
I don't know where we started.
Personally, I was thankful for the musical theater questions, but I thought we were gonna talk about random stuff.
We are. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're there now.
Yeah.
Now we're there.
Now we're here.
We are. Well,
There-
this producer Gavin's getting Chat GPT to make us questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess we got into movies at some point, and also just TV in general.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, you seen the trailer for Mandalorian season 3?
No, there's a season 3. Oh, that's right.
There's a season 3.
Which no one asked for.
It looks pretty okay. Listen, I am like you. I'm kind of in like the doubters camp a little bit, but it looks kind of good, and I'll watch it.
But it's like,
Andor was so good that I'll watch whatever the next thing is that they put out.
but that's Andor. That's not Mandalorian.
Mandalorian season 1 and 2 were good. Season 2.5 was not good.
The issue is, it's about taking Baby Yoda to Luke Skywalker. What's the point?
No, that's not season 3.
Yeah, but I thought season 2 he took him.
No. So in season 2, Luke Skywalker takes him.
Yeah.
And then in the Book of Boba Fett. So you didn't see Book of Boba Fett?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I'll fill you in.
Okay. Spoiler.
So, yeah, spoilers for Book of Boba Fett, which is, by the way, the most disappointing of the recent Disney Star Wars shows. It was not very good. Okay.
So fuck your spoiler.
in the final, yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, you probably know it's not good and you're not going to watch it.
Right.
In the last episode of season 2, he takes off the helmet to the Grogu, which is like against Mandalorian
Right.
custom. So in Book of Boba Fett, I swear to God, I think there's 2 full episodes of the Book of Boba Fett where he's not even in it. It's just the Mandalorian doing stuff.
What?
And so the Mandalorian he finds the armor, the chick
Yeah.
with the cool helmet, and she's
Right,
like
right.
dope. He finds her, and he has some Beskar, and he was like, I want to make this into something for the kid.
Right.
So he makes him a little chainmail shirt, which is very cute. It's a little chainmail Beskar shirt for Grogu.
That's cute.
And he goes to the planet where Luke is,
Right.
and Ahsoka is there. And she's like, you can't see him. He's like doing Jedi things.
Right.
I'll give him the gift.
Yeah.
So then she gives it to Luke, and Luke is like, no. So Luke sits Grogu down, and he's like, you can either stay with me, and he has a lightsaber, or you can go back to the Mandalorian, and he gives him the shirt. and little dumb idiot Grogu. Sorry, he's cute and everything, but he's a dumb idiot. He chooses to go back to the Mandalorian.
Right.
Now, whenever the Mandalorian is with the armorer, he has. I'm doing a little bit of jumping around it, but when he's
Right.
back with getting the shirt, he has the Darksaber. And one of the other Mandalorians is like, "That's my bloodlines. Like, you don't deserve it. I'm gonna fight you for it." And Din Djarin, Mandalorian, bests him in the fight, but then the armor is like, he's not a Mandalorian. The armor is like, "Have you ever taken off your helmet?"
Right.
And he's like, "I have." And she's like, "Then you're not a Mandalorian anymore."
Mm.
And you have to go to Mandalore and you have to retrieve this thing. It's something in their culture, and it's like buried under the ruins of the city.
Oh.
So season 3 is all about him going back to Mandalore, to the ruins.
He needs Grogu to do that.
Absolutely not. but they're I think they're afraid that the show's nothing without Grogu, which is probably true.
But
What? It's we're taking our Star Wars break while the Chat GPT gives us
our Power Rangers rap with Doja Cat style.
Gavin, bring me the laptop.
We should
sir.
do Kanye. See what happens. All right.
Okay, no, but that's the point of season 3.
Okay.
He has to go to the ruins of Mandalore. I forget what it is, but he has to retrieve something or find
So
something.
Yeah.
Okay, without further ado, give us a Power Rangers rap.
All right. Y'all ready for it? Before we get to that, but he doesn't need Grogu for that. That's the issue.
No, he doesn't really, but they can sell merchandise and they can make Lego sets, and he's kind of cute, and he has some utility because he can do like some Force stuff sometimes.
So did Luke just kind of say, "Sorry, bro, you'll never be a Jedi"?
Yeah, Luke was like, you can't have both. You're either gonna stay with me or I'm gonna give you up.
What?
And then just gave him up.
Aren't you a Jedi? Like, aren't you supposed to be
And
wise?
listen, this is what I'm saying. For anybody in Hollywood that wants to make a truly horrifying villain for any movie, all you have to do is AI generate the face of a younger actor.
Right.
Like a young Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
And then AI generate the young voice of Mark Hamill, put them together, and it is truly nightmare fuel. Like, AI generated Luke Skywalker, but it's actually a prolonged. In the last episode of Mandalorian season 2, you don't really notice it because it's a very quick interaction.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a full episode with him, it's the most unsettling thing I've ever seen. It's truly horrifying. It's like, because you know that it's not him.
Yeah.
And it's not just like whenever they de-age Michael Douglas for the Ant-Man movie for the flashback, because it's still his voice.
Right.
But whenever you know that Mark Hamill didn't actually say those lines, and he didn't be in the filming scene, it's horrifying.
Well, it's just sad because it's like Grogu. I feel like they might do a thing where Grogu is still gonna become a Jedi.
Well, if he did, then the problem is that either has to die or Kylo Ren has to kill him, because all of Luke's students get killed by Kylo Ren.
Oh.
So I think that's kind of why they did it. No, but Grogu would be too old. No, because it's after Empire Strikes Back. It's in between 6 and 7.
No.
So if Grogu stayed, they would have had to have Kylo Ren. That's why I think they did it, because Kylo Ren kills all of his students.
Right. But aren't those like not canon anymore?
No one knows, man.
Yeah, because
we don't know.
I thought it was the whole thing where they're not canon.
I think they're gonna redo them, but even then, that still may be part of the plan to redo them. That like Grogu had to be away.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on over
All
there
right. Well, am I allowed to beat? Am I allowed to beat on this one?
You're allowed to go crazy.
Okay.
With this.
Y'all ready for this?
This is
a
Power Rangers rap in the
and
style of Doja Cat.
Let's go. Listen up, y'all. I'm Doja Cat, spitting fire like the Red Rangers got my team by my side. We're ready to fight. Power Rangers, power up. We're here to save the day. We'll never give up. Morphin into action. We're chosen the few. Gonna show the world what we can do. I'm the Pink Ranger, fierce and fast. Got my weapons ready. Gonna make them blast. Together we'll take them down, the bad guys. With our teamwork, we'll reach the skies. Power Rangers, power up. We're here to save the day. We'll never give up. Morphin into action. We're choosing. Okay. That doesn't even rhyme, and I hate it. We're the chosen few, gonna show the world what we can do. So come on, join us in the fight. We'll take down the bad guys with all our might. Power Rangers are here to stay, gonna save the world. Come on, man. This sounds like a Power Ranger opening, though. That's the sad part.
That's how they opened it. Maybe Doja Cat wrote for the Power Rangers.
Maybe.
Way back in the day.
Way back in the 70s, 80s. I think it was 80s,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it was 80s.
I don't even know. Was she even born back then?
No,
Doja
she's
Cat?
really young.
What
I think
Doja
she's
Cat?
like, how is she? Like 24, 25?
Really?
Yeah, Doja Cat's still
She's
pretty
only a
young.
couple years older than us?
I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy.
I know she's not. Huh?
27.
27. Yeah.
You know what's insane?
what?
Mr. Beast is 24.
That's weird. Because he
He's
looks old.
24. And he's worth... Somebody offered him $1 billion for his channel and all of his companies.
Are you serious?
They offered him $1 billion, and he turned it down.
Because he's probably gonna make billion on his own.
Because he's going to be worth $20 billion in like 10 years, probably. He's 24.
My.
Can you imagine 2 years out of college? 2 years from now.
Wow.
It'd be 1 year from now for you, right?
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Right.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? I'm
yeah.
saying, like age-wise, though, you're 22?
I'm gonna be 22 next month.
Okay. Isn't that insane?
That's crazy.
He's 24. At least I'm pretty sure he's 24. Last time I checked, he was
He's
24.
like, but it's weird because he looks like, you know why? Because of all the success he has, it feels like he's older than who.
Feels like he's older than
he is.
He broke YouTube. He broke it. Like, he broke every record. He did everything that people thought couldn't be done. Like, motherfucker bought an island. Like, he just bought, like, private islands to give away to people in his videos. He'd be like, I bought this island, and I got 100 people who are going to compete for it.
What?
And then, you haven't seen this?
No.
And then he bought, like, a $750,000 island. That's, like, a small island, right?
Right.
He had people compete for it. And then, which, like, you know, dumb, like, oh, whoever leaves the circle last. And then,
Right.
like, that's the thing.
4 and 7. Yo.
And then he either would give it to them or he would just sell it and give them the money, which he said that's what people take most of the time. Like, people don't take the private jet, people don't take the supercar.
Well, yeah, because
They just take the money.
there are taxes you have to pay for them.
Right. But either way, it's like he's just doing everything that like people thought couldn't be done.
Well, even then, for taxes, he kind of like, what does he do? Like, he like helps out the people that like need to like get that stuff so they don't get like taxed out of oblivion. Or
Wow.
I think he covers the taxes or something like that. I think he does.
I'm taking the private island. I don't know what you mean. Like,
What are you gonna do with it though? How are you gonna get there?
I mean, I got a private island, and he's paying for
You
it.
need a boat.
Okay, he can't buy me a boat either. Like,
But he's not buying you stuff. It's not just like your personal shopping trip.
throwing a boat for
He kind of because like
that he gave you.
That's true.
like
Then what are you gonna build on it? What would you build on your? See, this is a dangerous.
Nothing.
Private islands are.
Have my own private beach.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, what you really can't do much with a private island.
That's my point. Like,
other than having a private beach.
I would take the money.
but like,
Because with the money, you could travel somewhere that has a private beach.
yeah, but I can go to that private beach free of charge, technically speaking, since he's paying the. Wait, can you have to pay an island tax?
This is a
Do you?
fantastic question. If it's in like,
Depending on where it's at.
yeah, if it's in international waters, I don't know how that works. Wow. But either way, it's like he's 24 years old.
That's crazy.
He's 3 years older, 4 years older than me.
2 years older than me.
That's insane. I can't.
Dude, we could be friends.
What are we doing with our time, Miles? We need to start getting views on YouTube.
Yo, are y'all posting your stuff on YouTube?
Yeah, all these are on YouTube, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's almost like once you get the right commentary, or you get like, wait, Obama? Can we get Obama?
Yeah,
real quick,
yeah.
fans. Obama. Hey, there it is. Obama. I think once you.
I can't believe that was our last president. Our last president was the most successful con man in the history of the human race.
That's Obama. If I never heard one.
And that was our last president.
Yeah.
And he went up on stage and he was like, and he voted for Obama amnesty. Like, you can see his face. If people go watch that clip, you see him saying, and he realizes he fucked up. His face is like, oh, that's not what you said.
He
And
voted
just keeps
for-
going anyway.
Obama.
And then the Biden soda moment is
Soda.
needs to be in the history books.
That's
I'm telling you.
He was.
Whenever the meme of that's like me and the boys, and it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the one guy's like chicken nugget analyst, whenever the meme historians go through, they better have those two, and this one as well.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
It's just the crowd.
Yeah, it's the crowd
it's
cheering in the
wild
background
over it.
whenever he says it.
Yeah, he's gonna come.
Do we get demonetized for that? Okay.
Not unless you say it in the first like 20, 30 seconds of the video.
Oh.
Brother, we had it in the first 10. We opened with all 3.
But like,
Not the
It's come and like come here, not like
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not.
not semen.
and also it's not like, we're
mean,
monetizing these videos
yeah.
anyway for any real profit.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, at one point you probably should,
Hopefully at some point maybe.
but it's like,
you need to get Steel City sponsored
yeah.
Yes.
or someone.
But it's just like you need the right. Once you have like the perfect comedy, right, and you have you have viewers laughing their asses off. That's how you knew you made it. Like I think I was I telling y'all about the Hit the Break podcast, which and they're hilarious. Like they're honestly hilarious. I was like, and like the more I keep watching them, the more it's super funny. And I think it's like you need the people who are going to be able to watch, who keep watching these episodes, and they keep watching them, and then like at some point they're gonna be like, yeah, no, that's my podcast. Like I listen to them, you know what I mean? But
This is already random, but we've been going all over the place to begin with, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah,
You've single-handedly saved season 2 from having a week gap.
yay,
For pulling up and filling a spot, because Don Green,
dude.
I'm still so sad about that.
Where is he? Where is Don Green?
He's gone.
Where is that? Give me the greens.
Huh?
Banished to the shop.
He
Literally.
might have been banished. Yeah, from what I hear, he left. He actually might have. So originally it was like that he left, and then people thought that maybe the board of trustees had like forced him out. But now I'm hearing that it's equally as possible that he did actually just leave.
Why? That's the real question.
I don't know.
Why did Don Green leave?
And then I think Soho's the stand-in president for X amount of time, and then we're gonna get another one. So we'll be looking at 3 presidents in the 4 years that I will be at this school,
Have fun.
that's kind of nuts. But he was supposed to be here, and then obviously would cancel. So you've stepped in and you've single-handedly saved the show.
What can I say?
You're here.
Bring me
I
back.
was gonna say, oh yeah. So this is hilarious.
Yeah.
We've been jumping around, so we listen to the Tim Dillon podcast a lot, and I was watching like an older episode. He was on another comedian's podcast, and they were going through his Twitter, because his Twitter is just gold. It's the best. And I was telling Gavin about this earlier. His friend who lives in like West Hollywood or whatever has a cat, and he takes, every time he goes to visit, he takes a picture of the cat. And the cat's kind of goofy looking a little bit. And the cat's name is Oscar.
Yeah.
So Tim Dillon started this whole fake storyline that Oscar is like this like radical right-wing cat that like threatens Nancy Pelosi, but they're like all jokes.
Yeah.
And they keep throwing him in jail over and over again. They're just jokes. And it's just the whole thing that just keeps building.
Yeah.
So the tweet was like, Oscar's out of jail, but he's under constant surveillance.
Yeah.
He's not allowed in the same state as Nancy Pelosi because of threats he made that he claims are jokes. And it's this goofy looking cat. And then people started photoshopping the cat into like pictures of Trump.
No.
Like, the cat's all over Congress. Like, it's so funny.
That's how you take out a political party.
I aspire.
Give him cat.
What I
vibes.
love about Tim Dillon though is like he just doesn't take any of it seriously.
Good, because I don't think anyone should.
You know, and I like there are times where I like try to a little bit.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think
What?
all of it's very silly.
I try, but I just tend to check out on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, like it's when you think about the fact that we have people in Congress that traded stocks based on knowledge of what the coronavirus would do to the economy, these people still have jobs. It's very silly. This is all very goofy.
It's goofy
It's
and
very goofy.
and you just don't know.
No.
You just don't know. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
At least we have this guy.
bum now.
we can't overuse it. I have to stop. It's
Yeah,
so fun to
I
press
just want to
the buttons.
clarify. Andrew Tate is out of jail.
Oh gosh, another topic. Right, I was trying to timestamp our discussions based on the questions.
Yeah.
but it's at this point.
It's
It's
impossible
impossible because I don't know where we're going.
It's gonna be don't.
I'll time mark this one maybe.
Yeah.
But there's I would say at least the last half hour I haven't been timestamped.
Yeah.
We were like movies and then Mr. Beast. And
Right.
and then Dad and then now we're on to Andrew Tate. I haven't followed any of that stuff. He's out of jail.
Yeah.
He has a beard now.
Yeah. He looks.
He had like stubble though. He has like a full he has a full beard now. He always had a little bit of something.
Is he just bald or did he just?
You could see back in his fighting days he had hair.
He fought.
He's a 4-time kickboxing world champion.
What?
Yeah, he's a legit fighter.
No, no wonder this guy has the kahunas to say half of the shit that he says.
He was supposed to fight Jake Paul before he got arrested.
No, that fight would have been crazy.
I'm telling you, I'm mad about this because I wanted to pay for that fight. I was going to invite all of you over and we were going to watch the fight because most likely Jake Paul was probably going to lose. Like, we want to say this is the only time the whole world is going to root for one of the Paul brothers. Like,
Right.
the only time. And it would be fun to say that he was going to beat Andrew Tate.
Right.
Like, the kid can fight, but
But compared to a 4-time kickboxing champion,
probably not.
probably not.
Probably not going to win. Sorry, Jake. I know he listens to this show.
Jake definitely. Jake's actually.
They listen.
Both Paul brothers listen to our podcast.
They listen to it together, actually.
They're actually like big
Together
fans.
and they listen to it. But he probably wasn't going to win. But I was going to stream that fight. I was going to watch it. We were going to all watch it together.
Damn.
And then he got arrested like an idiot. He
Over
got caught.
which
Okay, doing illegal stuff, I understand, but still.
in Romania.
It's only illegal if you get caught, if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, okay. I remember watching this whole video that like they didn't really find evidence that what he was doing. Again, I'm not
Yeah, I
gonna
don't
say that
know.
he did. I'm not gonna say they didn't. I don't really know.
Well, so I'm going to say that he probably might have. Maybe. Possibly. So the first time, it was back in April, he got arrested for like 24 hours. This is based on... I'm not going to go deep into this because I don't actually have any, like... This article says this.
Yeah.
But, like, the first time he got arrested, it was over, like, sex trafficking charges. They found no evidence. He was let off. This time around, it was for organized crime.
Oh, so it was.
Which people immediately thought it was the sex trafficking again, and they were like, he definitely did it, he must have, he had to have. Which, if you think about it, is kind of messed up, because then all the people that are saying that, like, if you're saying it like that, don't you kind of want it to be true then? Like, not that you want to, but like, they're like, oh, he finally
that's
got him
deep.
on sex trafficking, and it's
Right,
like, why are
because-
you hoping that it's real?
Right, because
Because
like
then you're
that's
hoping
not.
that people got victimized, like,
Yeah,
which is why I was like, I hope it's not real. Like,
Right.
you don't have to like the guy.
but
But
like,
I'm also not going to hope that it's real.
yeah.
Organized crime, dude has a lot of money, lives in Romania. I
Okay.
expect nothing less at this point.
Right.
Of course he's going to be involved with the mafia.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Is it bad? Yeah, it's bad.
But like
But-
sex trafficking,
Worse. Definitely
like,
worse.
and especially that you see like a bunch of these pictures of him just like, and I don't even know if those are Photoshop or not, but like sometimes you see pictures of him hugging like little children, and it's kind of like
I haven't seen any of those.
I've seen some of those pictures, and and again I don't know if they're real or not, but like I don't mess. I think that stuff is disgusting, obviously,
Yeah.
and I think, and especially because I have siblings, so I take that shiznit a lot, really serious.
Mhm.
I think it's the one, to me, one of the top heinous crimes is taking away someone's innocence
Yeah.
and putting a child in that situation. So I hope it's not true.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean I
I hope so,
support any of
too.
the shiznit that he says.
No, but you can at least hope that it's not true.
Yeah, because that I'm thinking about the victims, not about if he's a good guy or not. Because like I personally, again, I just don't agree with some of the shit that he says. That's not me. That's not me being a simp. I just don't like. That's not the way I look at life. And like, if he looks at life and like his way of looking at life, then like do it. But like me, obviously not. But like if he is literally hosting a sex whatever thing ring which I hope it's not true.
Yeah, I hope it's not true either.
There
But
are
some people
victims
were, like-
suffering.
some people were like, they were like, it has to be real. And it's like, well, aren't you like, in a way, like you're like, I don't want it to be real.
Yeah.
I want that shit to be fake. I want him to be like, I want that to not be true.
Right, because there's
If
victims.
you want to get him on if the organized crime is true, then bro is involved in like, it's an unfortunate.
So was Frank Sinatra.
It's an unfortunate truth, but like that's what people with money, and he's openly stated like I love living in Romania because it's a corrupt country, and it's like, well then what do we think this guy is doing?
Right,
Of
that's
course.
what I'm saying.
He's like, I can get in contact with the prime minister if I want to. I can't do that over in America, and it's like,
Okay.
of course of course that's why he would live there.
Right.
Money, of course he's gonna be doing that stuff, but yeah,
In
he's out of jail.
yeah.
Maybe he gets another 8 months out before he gets back in jail again for something. I don't know.
It's just
I don't know.
The only thing is, I feel like,
Jeez.
do you think, like, theory? This is a theory. Do you think that he might have been swatted?
What do you mean by swatted?
You know how, like,
specifically?
you know how sometimes, like, people they send SWAT teams to these people's houses.
Yeah, I think they arrested him at his like compound. I think so. Yeah.
Mm.
At his like spot. At his castle.
That's
Anything that's like more than a couple buildings in
Yeah.
Romania is a castle.
that's
It's a
true.
castle.
That's a castle.
Just because it's Romania too.
Yeah.
If it's any like European country, if there's multiple buildings with any sort of wall,
Right.
castle.
That's castle.
Yeah.
Also, isn't he like almost like a billionaire? And
I think
Euros?
in euros he said he's a billionaire when he was on Piers Morgan. Yeah.
is that true?
I mean, why would he lie about that?
How much
It's
would that?
probably
How much would that be in American? Like, would that be a millionaire?
Oh yeah, he's like hundreds of millions.
Right.
But hold on. Sorry for the silence, folks. I'm looking
know.
at how many American dollars is a billion euros. Wait, is that the right thing I'm looking at?
Yeah. Because
Oh, so they're not that far off. A billion euros would be like 1,086,000,000 dollars.
oh, so yeah, he's still.
He's
a billion.
pretty close. I mean, I
Yeah.
would consider he's probably at this point in time. I don't know, being in jail might hurt you a little bit, but then again, he runs like casinos and stuff. Like no one gives a fuck who.
Oh,
owns
he.
the casino.
Well, I mean.
He owns casinos. And
So it wouldn't be surprised that he might be like have ties to the mafia if he runs casinos.
he also runs a business with his brother that manages girls on OnlyFans. So it's also wouldn't be super surprising if the sex trafficking was true.
Yeah,
I
but
don't want it to be, but it wouldn't be surprising.
like, as I'm pretty sure that's like two different things though, because isn't that more
Yeah.
like pimping? I don't want to say this.
That's kind of what he is.
Is it?
from
Would
his
that be
perspective,
pimping?
right?
Again, that's a question. That's not me saying that.
No, I think he
Yeah.
just like they just manage their money and stuff like that.
Okay, so there's.
They just manage their funding and they just help them like build a brand and shit like that.
Oh,
That's
so
from what I understand.
Okay, so that's not really pimping per se, because that's
No.
like because people do that. That's just more sponsoring,
Or like managing, yeah.
managing. Yeah, because you're and it's like it's that's the same as adult work in like
Yeah.
the P word industry. That's like the same for producers
In the corn industry.
In the
I'd say.
corn industry.
As some people say.
in the corn industry. But like again, it's. I just hope that it's
We
not
could have
true.
said adult film industry. if
Yeah,
we wanted.
that's why I said that, and you were like, the corn industry.
I see some
Just to
people-
clarify for y'all not to know.
Some people on YouTube, they'll like put that instead
Yeah.
of the other one,
Right.
not to get demonetized,
Right.
or whatever it is.
But like, I really hope it's not true because because for the victims,
Yeah.
I don't care about Andrew Tate. I really try to stay away from a lot of that stuff per se because it's just not. And it's not that I don't listen. Like for example, I'll say, this one YouTuber who I grew up with, Young Don the Sauce God.
Dude, okay, continue, and then I have like a thing. about
Okay,
it.
okay. Because I grew up with Young Don the Sauce God. Like before his podcast, I used to watch his stories, like his like drawn stories that like they're some of my favorite stories. There's certain things that I listened to that I was kind of like, I don't really agree with that part. But like other stuff I was like, he's teaching, I feel like I'm kind of learning how to be a man per se. But again, there's certain things that he said I don't particularly agree with. So
Where are we thinking of the same Young Don? We have to be, right? It's a streamer, YouTuber, and Twitch streamer.
he's Jamaican.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, we're talking
that's the same one.
Okay. I was watching. It was the funniest thing. It's one of those like Twitch discussion panels where it's like, how did you all get this group of people together?
Right.
It was Destiny.
Is that the one where you're talking to Agent Zero and
No, so it was Destiny is around.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, go ahead.
Destiny,
Was Sneeko on there?
Sneeko,
Yeah.
Nick Fuentes,
Yeah.
Gideon,
Yes.
and Young Don.
That's,
It was actually a really good discussion. Oh, and Abba was there too. Abba was from Abba and Preach.
yeah.
Abba was moderating.
Yeah.
And every comment was like, "This is the goofiest panel of people. How did you all get all these people in the same Twitch call?" It was so hilarious though. As soon as Young Don came in, the Twitch chat was like, "What is going on?"
Cause like now Young Don is kind of him.
It's hilarious.
Sneeko, they're all kind of in that like pro.
Is Young Don? I didn't get the vibe that he was like that from this one.
Well, when you watch him as podcast,
Is Gideon like that?
I don't know.
No,
Gideon.
Gideon is not like
No, he's not like that.
Because
No.
he's still making content.
Yeah.
that. He is.
He's still like the same. It seems.
Mm.
Yeah, he blew up, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
His stuff is like he's pretty popular. Yeah, I don't know, but that discussion was hilarious just because
Yeah.
it was like it was the strangest gathering of people.
That's a
And it was mainly just like Nick Fuentes versus like everybody, not like versus, but like it was Nick Fuentes here and then everybody else and then Sneeko in the middle.
yeah.
And you could tell that Sneeko was like looking at Nick Fuentes being like, this guy's nuts,
right.
but I can't disagree with him because then I'd leave my camp. And it's like he couldn't, you know what I mean?
But like,
It does. He was like, if he didn't agree with Nick, he would have to like drop his whole worldview, his whole like brand that he's like built his stream around. So he couldn't. But you could see in his eyes that he
Damn.
was like, this guy's kind of nuts. And Nick Fuentes is
yeah.
nuts. He's crazy.
He's
But Sneeko just couldn't. But anyway, it was hilarious. It was actually a really good discussion. It was just so funny that all those people were in the same discussion together.
no, I think it's weird because it's like now that Young Don is a parent, some of his worldviews, and maybe he's always had these worldviews and everything, but some of his worldviews change. And I think a lot of that just kind of roots from maybe he's just kind of like, because I believe he has a daughter.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's just like what type of man does he want his daughter to type of man his daughter might end up with.
Yeah.
And so that might be why his worldviews kind of like change.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that happens with a lot of parents. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I've heard my dad talk about stuff sort of like that. My parents talked about that kind of stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
I know that like Destiny has talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
How like Destiny was like pretty conservative until he had his kids. Like I think he had his son, and then he was saying he was like, I realized that like I could give my son like a much different life than I had growing up. So that sort of changed the way he viewed the world.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
That's
a
kinda
cool
cool.
growth. Yeah.
Do y'all know about Kai Cenat?
No,
Oh,
I do not.
okay. Well, never mind.
Yeah. Moving on.
Moving.
Next one. Transition.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
That's always the transition.
I love that they clap at the end. I need to stop. I don't want to overuse them. I want them to still be funny, but it's just so fun to click the button.
Yeah.
It's like it's the most instant gratification thing ever. It's like clicking the button, just getting the sound.
We gotta
bite.
do one more Obama. I'm sorry.
One more.
One more.
I promise to the viewers. I hope that they find this as funny as we do, because this is. That
Obama.
was our last president.
That's like
He said that.
this is who, not me, but not everyone, but this is who people voted in to be our president.
It was.
Obama, the guy.
Yeah. More than just that. You got to go out. Like the Daily Show did a compilation of like all of those, like his best words. And some of them are so funny.
We gotta.
He's, instead of saying sanctuary, he was like, they declared their entire state to be a stanctuary. That's one of my favorite ones.
people will think we're Trump stands when we're really not. At least I'm not.
I think people have heard me talk about Ed enough on this show. They probably know that I'm not, and that you aren't.
Yeah.
Do we have to clarify that? They don't. I don't.
No, I don't think we have to.
People are gonna think what they're gonna think.
Right.
I'm allowed to think he's funny.
He's hilarious. Like he
He's-
just says really dumb shit.
He's undeniable, and I've said this before. He's the funniest.
Ultimate troll.
yes,
He's the
exactly.
Look, he's the ultimate troll, and like I said, he's the most successful con artist in the history of
And he
humanity. He's
became
just, like
the
this guy's
president.
full. He's full of shit. He's hilarious though.
And he became the president. The con artist became the president.
Undoubtedly, I think he's. I mean, not that I've lived through enough to like see other funny presidents.
Mhm.
Like George W. has some funny quotes,
Right.
but with Trump, it's just hours. It's
Because he
hours.
believes in the shit that he
Because
says.
he loves the attention. He loved the
Yes,
time.
I think that's what. Yeah.
And he and, like I get it, like it's not entirely his fault because if you catch, I'm sure I've made multiple
Mhm.
gaffes on this, but like if you put yourself on recording for multiple hours, I do this multiple hours I do this for like 1 or 2 hours a week.
Mhm.
He does it for. He was probably doing that for multiple hours every day, so I can understand it, but it's still hilarious.
Wait, do
still
they
funny.
know that you bought or not? No, you didn't buy it, but I think your aunt bought you the Donald
The
Trump
book of Donald Trump poetry.
poetry.
I have not talked about that yet. That was an incredible Christmas gift.
I need to. I
Really
need.
great.
I think they want to know, and I think I need to know.
What I think of the book?
Yes.
Okay, so here's my honest review of the book. I was under the impression that this was his tweets put into poem form.
Yes.
And I have now learned that it is tweets, recordings, like of things he said,
Mm-hmm.
that have been rearranged into poems. So they're not always like consistent with what he actually tweeted.
Okay.
So some of them are really funny.
Yeah.
And some of them are kind of misses for me. Like there are some in between, some genuinely wild stuff in there that he said. It's still a really great book, though. It's really fun. It's very fun to look through because it's like you can't believe that any of it's fucking real.
Right.
This guy was the president, and he's. Some of them are genuinely very witty and very funny.
Yeah.
And some of them are just I kind of skip over them. I got kind of misses. But I'm really disappointed that the hamburgers tweet didn't make it in there. You know about that tweet, right?
No.
Oh my god. Listen, this one will never not be funny to me. I'm gonna pull up the tweet and I'm gonna read it like I'm Trump.
Yeah.
Okay. Because okay, this was in 2017. The Clemson Tigers won the national championship,
Mm-hmm.
and they go to the White House for the dinner. 2017 or 2018, this happened, and it was right during the big government shutdown that Trump was doing. The big government shutdown.
Oh
that we
yeah,
had.
yeah.
And apparently there were no cooks at the White House. You remember this? Whenever he served them fast food,
Yeah.
you remember that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Gavin had the picture we put in our last episode. It's my favorite. That might be my favorite Trump picture, like just a picture of him. That's my favorite one. And obviously the Obama thing is my favorite, like verbal, like
Right.
my favorite soundbite. This is my favorite because I'm not on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't really know the
Nor
list
mine.
of really great tweets. But from the limited amount that I have seen, this is my favorite Trump tweet of all time.
Okay. Okay.
Let me find it. The great part is that he took it down like 2 minutes after he tweeted it because he realized there was so many typos in it. Or like, big typo. But the great part is that it's the internet and it's never gone.
Right.
So this is what he said.
What did you say?
Let me get the date. Oh, 2019. Okay, wow. January 15th, 2019. A little
Even
later
better.
than I thought.
Even
Okay.
better.
So this is what he says.
What did you say?
Great being with the national champion Clemson Tigers last night at the White House. Because of the shutdown, I have served them massive amounts of fast food. In parentheses, I paid. Over 1,000 hamburgers, etc. Within 1 hour, it was all gone. Great guys and big eaters. That's a real tweet from the 45th president of the United States of America.
This is yo.
That's a real tweet. There you can read it.
Look.
You can read that. That's what it is. It's real.
Hamburgers,
Hamburgers,
etc.
etc. Dude, Gavin, can you grab me the photo, please?
The internet's not working.
No,
No.
I'll Google it.
Hamburgers.
The photo he took, like he
Dude.
took.
You support.
He took a photo with all the spread of
No, this dude's the president, by the way. Or he was. Thank God he's not.
He's trolling. He's trolling the government.
He has
This was a troll move.
1,000 hamburgers.
Hamburgers. And he took down the tweet and he took down the tweet shortly after he put it up, but then people had already screenshotted it and it was all over the internet for everybody to see forever. And he probably loves that people are still talking about it.
Oh yeah, because it's the attention.
But I don't care because it's hilarious.
It's because he's a troll, but we're still. I don't think he gets how, in years from now, people are probably gonna see him as like a joke.
Some people will, for sure. Some people will still view him as being someone that was sent here by Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
To drain the swamp and arrest everyone in DC or whatever the hell the plan was that they were gonna do.
Drain.
Which, listen, here's my thing with that.
Okay.
I am of the belief that at least 95% of the people in DC are criminals. Are elected politicians. These people are doing scummy stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right? These people are, like I said, they're trading stocks based on information of what coronavirus is going to do to the economy.
Right.
These people are, they're not representing us. They're just fighting with each other. They're running away with the future and all the money. I actually do agree with that stuff. So, that's why I don't like to super trash the MAGA people a lot because, as goofy as they are, and as much as they are ideologues who are just stuck in their bubble, and they won't listen to any dissenting opinions,
tend to be very sheep-like. Not saying they're sheep.
No, of course,
but they tend to be sheep-like.
They anybody who's an ideologue is a sheep. That's the point. Is you got to go along with the club,
right?
But I don't really like to I'll make fun of them, sure, but I'll make fun of everybody,
right?
But I do agree with some part of that message. I can understand people wanting somebody to go in there and arrest all of these elected officials that haven't represented us in years and have just been fighting on Capitol Hill and have been passing laws that the people don't even want on either side.
Right.
And have just been not fulfilling their duty. I can understand that. And I can understand the drain the swamp thing of getting all the establishment politicians that have been in Congress for 20 plus years, 30 plus years.
Yeah.
That don't even have to win re-election, that are getting all this money, that have just been sitting there doing fuck all.
All the old people in Congress do not need to be there anymore.
That's what I'm saying. So I understand whenever they say that. So whenever they say the drain the swamp thing, I don't necessarily disagree with them.
Yeah.
It's just they were goofy how they went about it. They thought that Trump was going to be this knight in shining armor that was going to weaponize the military against our elected officials or whatever the plan was. That part I just didn't really understand. That's the part I didn't get. But either way, some people I have an aunt that thinks he was sent here by Jesus Christ or something like that.
That's sad.
Which I mean, you're allowed to believe it, I guess.
Yeah, but
listen, if that's true somehow in the end, I'll eat my words. But I'd be surprised if
really hope it's not.
I would be surprised if that was Jesus' chosen vessel to come back and why Jesus would be only concerned with the problems of America and would be doing this in every you know what I mean? It's only us. Is that not the most American thing ever? We have problems and we're the only ones because Jesus sent his reincarnated man to us.
As a white, orange man.
So that part is a little... Now, I would be curious. Now, I would sit down with someone who believed this and I would ask them that question. Why here? Because there are other problems around the world. There are probably other countries that could use divine intervention more than we could.
I agree, because this is my thing. I find it very. I laughed a lot when you said that. Why would Jesus be concerned only with what America's doing?
Yeah, why? There are other Christian nations,
right?
And even then, there's other religious people around the world,
and
they have problems too.
I honestly don't think. And I know there's people who believe this, but I honestly don't think Jesus is constantly thinking about what the heck we're doing all the time.
I think he's a busy man.
I think he's busy.
I do believe in some sort of higher power. I think I do believe in Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do. And I think he's a busy guy. He's got a lot to worry about. And like for him to be concerned with, I think he probably sees the big picture.
Yeah.
I would be, if he was going to see anything, I think he'd see that. But to be involved with like every little problem. Now, to be fair, the government thing could be viewed as a big problem.
Right.
It could be. But yeah, I just, that part. And again, like I don't mean to like trash these people's worldview.
No,
I
yeah.
really don't mean to do that. And I don't have any ill will toward any of these people. I really
No,
don't, 'cause I'm like,
they
some of
didn't
them are
do
my
anything.
family. And
Yeah.
like, even though I'm not close with them, they're still my family. So, but I'm someone that doesn't like to subscribe to an ideology. So when I see that stuff, it's a little concerning to me, first of all. And also, the guy that you pick to lead you is the funniest. Like, he's so funny. Like, I'm going to laugh at
Right.
him and what he says and what he does because it's very funny to me.
I think I find it very interesting. I like someone not particularly trying to really find an ideology to live by.
I don't like it.
Like I how I am as a person, how I deal with stuff, I'm very outskirt person. I kind of just get along with everyone.
You do.
Like
Yeah.
I like doing that, even though some things certain people say that I'm just kind of like I don't like that, or I don't particularly agree with that. But at the same time, I think even I still have my ideologies I believe in, but there's still certain stuff that I can be like, okay, I can understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I don't agree, but I kind of just like, that's a little weird to me.
Yeah.
But I think because I can be outskirts with people, I can be outskirts with ideology.
Yeah. Real quick, Gavin, is Miles in frame if he's sitting back like that a little bit more? I'm sorry.
yeah.
I just want to make
No,
sure
no,
it's
it's
on
okay.
camera. I just want to make sure. Because I was about to start lounging back like that too and just bring the mic closer, but
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we're not. I want to make sure the viewers have a good. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, we're a little late.
Now we can hey.
Bring the mic closer.
You probably
honestly.
just
I kind of want to slide my mic over here a little.
yeah, like you just saw
Can I do that real quick?
my body
Entertain the masses. I'm gonna move my mic.
entertain the masses.
Entertain the masses, Miles. I'm gonna turn my mic off so people won't hear it. I'm gonna move my mic real quick. Sorry, folks. But also not sorry because I'm trying to. Wait, that's not the right way. I don't think. Oh shoot! Which way is left? Which way is to loosen it? What am I looking at here? What's going on? Oh, there we go. Huh? Yeah, I know. I thought I was going the right way. This one's supposed to go, I think, on the other side of the table, so it was backwards from what I was looking at it as. Am I loosening it yet? Now I am. Ooh. Good thing my mics are off because they'd be hearing just like so many noises right now.
By the way, there's currently like stuff being done in the
Sorry,
background.
folks. I'm just adjusting my mic so I
Yeah.
can be a little more relaxed.
Let's
Well, I wanted to keep talking about this. I
yeah.
just didn't want to. I didn't want to be out of frame. I wanted the viewers to still have a good.
While you're doing that,
experience.
do we want another rap session? And this time about
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little disappointed by that one.
yeah, that wasn't
Well,
like
if you give it more,
If you give it more, it'll give you a better answer.
what about,
that is so much better.
there you go. Now we can like relax.
Yeah, now because we were in a flow right there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like to trash. Like I said, I don't like to trash those people,
Mhm.
and I don't really like to subscribe to like an idea set because to me it's like the one thing that kind of bugs me a little bit is whenever it's like the need of the group to string all of the problems together
I 100% agree with that.
and then to present, which is kind of like, and I'll give an example of both sides doing it. It's like, it was like that the people on the right, there was like a QAnon connection to like the swamp, and there was that connection to like them taking away the, like, it's a little more, I might be wrong about this, but it feels like the right and the left do the same thing. The right had theirs a little bit more centralized.
So much easier.
Actually, maybe not though, because in a way, like QAnon kind of was. I had that problem too. I couldn't find out how to put these on. I was like, "Which way are we going?"
yeah, I'm
It's kinda
sorry.
weird.
As you were saying.
But because it seemed like QAnon was the ideology for them. Like that was the solution to everything. Like he was going to be the one that arrested all the politicians and drained the swamp because
Right.
Q was the one that was exposing Epstein, and he was also like working with Trump, and maybe he was Trump, and the thing that was I'm not gonna lie to you, the thing that was kind of fun about Q was that it was kind of like a make it up as you go along thing. It was like everything that happened, everything that is happening, and everything that will happen all at the same time. So it's kind of goofy because like I just couldn't keep up with it after. Like not that I was believing in it, but I was like, I'm just gonna try to see what these people are talking about.
Yeah.
And after a while, it was just too much. It was just a constantly evolving thing. There was always new stuff that was developing. It was, and then the past changes, and it was actually this because we were slightly wrong, so let's change it.
Yeah.
So confusing. I didn't get it. But I feel like on the left, they like to, like I saw a post that was talking about, they made some tie between like, it was like reproductive justice is climate justice, and I was like, hold on a second.
Oh, what?
Hold on a second. You have to explain this one to me because I struggle to see how you're going to make a connection in that area.
Right.
Which like that, both of those bother me because why are you going to make me buy in? It just raises the bar of entry for the person that's trying to find. It's kind of pervasive in a way because if someone's trying to find their worldview and find their identity and they find themselves believing, okay, maybe they're pro-choice, then they find all these people that are, okay, well, pro-choice people also believe X, Y, Z.
But that might not be true.
And then they get stuck, right? And then they get stuck, and then they might not actually believe that stuff. And same thing on the right. You could be in favor of guns, but then also you have to be in favor of like banning critical race theory and like, you know, or whatever it is. And you might not believe in that either.
Right. I mean, that's, I tend to think that we tend to group everything.
Yeah.
And like for some, because it's like, but it's like, I think we also have to understand our political views are just like people. They're very complex.
Yeah.
And like, just because I'm pro-choice doesn't, I mean, I do also believe in climate change, but like, I guess if I
wouldn't string those two together.
I wouldn't string those two together. They're not the
one
same
solution for both problems.
Yeah, that's just not true. Like they're not true at all. And like it's just like saying like, well, I'm pro-gun, which I'm not obviously, but hypothetical. I'm pro-gun, but I also believe in like, I don't believe in like electric energy and everything. But it's like, what if I'm pro-gun and I do believe in electric energy? Like, what if like I think there's no use in oil energy anymore because it's killing our planet, and also at some point a lot of that stuff is gonna run out.
Yeah, and I'm sure that those people are out there.
Oh yeah,
because I just tend to take everything issue by issue. I just don't like to be
right,
like, okay, well, I'm all blue or I'm all red.
A lot of my views tend to be very blue. I'm not gonna speak too much on like red views because I don't think I know too much about red views, other than like some of the most famous ones that are on the news that I don't particularly agree with. Because I mean, you never see them talk about the views that blue and red can agree with.
Yeah, they don't like to do that.
No,
because you can't keep people divided like that.
Look,
and it's easier to keep us divided because then you can get away with all your
that's how you
scummy
control
stuff you're
people.
doing.
That's how you exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, okay, back in the day during colonial times, the minute because like during this time when you have like these like 3 British colonies, even though there was more.
Yuck.
Yeah. We used to be British. Well, y'all used to be British. I
hate that. Anyway,
you had the Enlightenment, and then you had the Great Awakening, which really pushed individuality and really pushed these revolutions. And so, I think if we had a movement like the Great Awakening again, or like the Enlightenment,
that's kind of what the QAnon people talked about. It was like this great moment where everyone was going to finally see the light or something like that,
or like come together.
I'm sure that there was a thing about that on the left too. I forget what it was called, but it was something like that. There was some moment where everyone was gonna. Oh, it was like the workers' revolution, or like of the world. Like all the workers were gonna rise up, and it was gonna be this whole thing. People finally figured it out.
But no,
neither one of those happened. Because guess what? It's probably not a thing that's gonna happen.
Probably, and I hope one day. Who knows? I hope. We need. I don't know if we should be. I'm very weird about like throwing over the government and stuff like that. I don't know if we should do that per se because there's a lot of government officials who aren't particularly the politicians. There's a difference between the government. To me, there's a difference between a government official and a politician.
Yeah, I agree. I think. Yeah, I would say so.
Because the government officials, there are people who are part of the government who aren't particularly the ones on the TV that you are that are representing us.
Like local officials.
Exactly. And so like you're taking away their livelihoods. They're just working. That's just a job just like anyone else. And by the way, a lot of these government officials per se aren't making money from being a government official. They're making money from like having businesses and everything, which I learned recently, which I was surprised because I used to think that these government officials were like earning all this money from being government officials, but really as it is, it's a, what do they call it? What type of job? It's a, what's it called?
Oh, I don't know.
It's like a, not service job. It's a civil
service.
Civil service. It's civil service. They're putting their lives on the line in a sense. They don't have to do it. It's really freedom of charge like job, but they're choosing to do it.
Yeah, they're giving up their time.
But are there people who are corrupt in the government? Yes.
100%. Yeah.
There's people who are corrupt in everything. Every major company or whatever, there are people who are corrupted in it.
Yeah, I tend to be against the whole like let's overthrow the government thing, only because I think it's kind of arrogant to think that we could build something better.
Right.
Like we like to think that we can, because the one thing that kind of bugs me is the whole like let's look back at history and judge them based on the standards of today because we're so virtuous and we always win.
Right.
And it's like I don't think that we're that smart. Like I think we have people in our society. Like okay, if we really wanted to, we could pull together. I think a group of people that could draft something that could be about the same caliber. If we got together all of our best philosophers and all of our best people from all backgrounds and races and everything like that, and we put them in a room and we asked them to come up with an alternative, I'm sure that they could.
Yeah, and it would probably be as good as America.
And it could be as good as America, but I'm like, if we're gonna overthrow it and then we're gonna magically find a way to eliminate all of our problems, and it's always one side saying we're gonna fix everything,
Right.
based on what we believe.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works.
That's not how it works. That's okay. And like
That's the beauty of this country.
exactly. We are.
We're allowed to disagree on stuff.
And you know what? There's a lot of places where you're not allowed to disagree. And if you do disagree, you're not allowed to say it out loud.
And I don't know if I was telling you about this, or if it was somebody else, but that's the thing that bugs me. Like both sides are like, oh, like the one thing that Trump did was he was like, it's either the best thing ever or the worst thing ever, or this is the hugest, or this is the smallest problem, or this is no one's ever seen anything like it, that kind of thing. I think that there's an incentive to make everything seem like it's like, oh, Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of this nation. Like maybe he is, but like we can't even fathom how bad it can get. We can't even
worst presidents.
Sure, there were, and also my thing is like, you don't understand how sideways things can go in a little amount of time.
Oh, I mean, we saw it from how Trump handled the pandemic, and
I'm even saying worse than Trump. I'm saying like we have history.
Right.
We've seen Maoist China. We've seen Nazi Germany. We've seen the Soviet Union. We've seen Vietnam. We've seen Cambodia. And I'm not saying, and yes, those are all very specific types. And now Nazi Germany was more right-leaning. Like that's a right-leaning extremist government as opposed to the Soviet Union, which is like left-leaning from what I understand. I'm not trying to pick on anybody's economic system or ideals. I'm just saying it can get so much worse than Trump or Biden.
Yeah.
It can get so much worse than high gas prices. Like, gas prices are a problem because people are struggling to like make ends meet. Like, I understand that, but it can get so much worse. Than Biden and Trump.
And I think, I do think but at the same time,
sir, lift your mic up a little. bit.
Yeah. At the same time, I don't want to give off of like, well, we should just be okay with what's going on.
Absolutely not.
Obviously, that's not true.
Agree with that. No,
but I think it's a choice of picking and choosing your wins.
Yeah.
And like this is my thing. I'm someone who doesn't like settling. I've lived as long as almost 22 years is life of being okay, of settling with stuff and giving people excuses, and I don't really do that anymore. Because like we're in a day and age where like if you say something like racist or ignorant, you can look up online of why that's ignorant. You can go on YouTube right now and be like, well, is this ignorant? Yes or no? And you'll find hundreds of YouTube videos of saying it is, and find 100 YouTube videos that are saying it isn't.
Yeah.
But probably
at least understand why you would think it
right.
is.
At least understand why I would think it's ignorant, right?
Yeah.
And that, to me, that we are living in a world where information is just like a snap of the finger, and I can't give people excuses and settle for certain things. So I'm not saying settle in any sort of like circumstance.
Neither am I.
But I think we also have to take into account that it could be way worse than what it is.
Yeah, just a little bit of perspective.
Like there are literal kids in China or Indonesia or whatever,
North Korea,
who there are kids who are making our pants and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they don't even have a chance to have like a great education.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's interesting. I kind of think about like the idea of like privilege, and I think the idea of privilege has very much changed over the years, because privilege now is a very, very general term in my opinion, because I'm privileged enough to be able to do this.
Yeah.
I'm very privileged enough to be able to go to school, to do a musical theater. Musical theater is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
It's it's an expensive sport, like golf, tennis, swimming, football in a sense can be very expensive. It's not as expensive per se to get into compared to like if you're playing soccer, because soccer can be pretty fucking expensive.
Yeah.
But like musical theater, there are so many people who don't have the chance to do this because maybe they didn't have the opportunities of having a voice coach who can teach them the ropes. They didn't have the money to go to these dance classes and everything. And not saying I really went to dance classes per se, but to be able to do these theater institutes and stuff like that, and to go to college for musical theater, I'm privileged in that own way. Now, am I privileged enough where I'm seen in a certain like? No, because the way they see Carson and the way they see me, their casting sometimes tends to be, well, we want to go to Carson look because that's traditional.
Right.
So,
but I wouldn't get picked over you for dancing.
not
a chance, folks. Not a chance.
Not a chance. But like,
not a chance. Not in any metric of musical theater stuff.
I think we also have to, and I think this goes out for everyone. We need to really and I'm sure this has been said, but it's been said, but people don't really listen to it. We need to take into account of what we are privileged in, and also see it in the light of other people and why they might not be privileged in the way that we're privileged.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that just because they're privileged to be going to school doesn't mean that they don't go through shit, though. I think people forget that. People is like, oh, well, they'll be able to go to college, so, like, I can say whatever the hell I want, and it's not that big of a deal. No.
Everybody's going through something.
Exactly. What's wrong with just being a good person? What is wrong with just wanting to respect someone?
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. If someone feels some type of way, if you call them by the wrong pronoun, there's nothing wrong with them feeling some type of way. It shouldn't be hard to call someone by the right pronoun. You're not really asking for much.
Yeah.
I don't think that's in my opinion, I don't think that's a lot to ask. If you think that's a lot to ask, that's on you. I don't mind. I'm 100% being like, okay, your pronouns are they, them.
I did that accidentally and I felt bad.
It happens. Look, it happens.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't know when I should have asked, and I didn't mean to assume, but it just like, and I'm not trying to make excuses for that.
No,
because I genuinely don't want to disrespect anybody, but I did that and I felt kind of bad.
No, and like
they were cool about it. Like,
right.
They were,
because like they're like even me who like is in musical theater where you're around a lot of people who like their pronouns like you have people pronouns who go by they them, because like the artsy community is very more gender like it's spectrum, right? And so even for me, it took me a while to really like remember to say they them and like what pronouns do they go by, and ask them. Like it's cool because like in our class we always ask hi, like my name is Miles Hanna, I go by pronouns he him his. Hi, I'm whatever, I go by pronouns they them. Like that's just a common theme. And like,
is it weird that I like I don't know how to fully phrase this.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. I guess just because I'm like I don't even want to say normal because like that's even like
Mhm.
just with me. Like I am like I'm cool with other people telling me what they want to be called as with pronouns,
Mhm.
but I don't feel like I need to say it with me just because I feel like I'm a
That's
pretty. You know what I
yeah.
mean? You know what I mean? Like I just don't. Not that it feels like cringy or anything, but I'm just like I just don't really feel
I mean,
like because I feel like
yeah.
I'm a pretty open book. Like I feel like it's pretty obvious. But even then, maybe I shouldn't even say that. I don't know. I just feel like I never say it. Not that I don't
Yeah.
want to, but I either just forget or I just don't.
I mean, I think you have to be like in the environment to be like to get used to doing that.
Yeah,
And-
and also if someone asks me, I'll tell them.
Yeah, but like I mean, I know a lot of people. There's certain people I know people who kind of don't even talk about their pronouns.
Yeah, I don't really.
And like
I
you
like
don't
to call
have
people by their first name most of the time anyway. I just go by name basis.
right.
You know, the pronouns come up very rarely,
Yeah.
but I guess that's kind of why I just and now that I don't want to make it a part of my vocabulary like on intentionally,
Yeah, yeah.
but I just, you know, I like to call people by their names.
right.
'Cause names are cooler to me anyway.
I'm name.
Cuz that's unique to you like,
right. That yeah.
you know, I know like 6 Gavins at Point Park, but like still I only really know one of them.
Right, because that's like
But I know
that's the
but
Gavin,
but I've
the
run-
godly Gavin.
That's the producer Gavin, but I've run into like 6 Gavins in classes
Right.
and that kind of thing. But either way, I don't know. I just feel like I haven't really opened with that. Like when I introduce myself, I just kind of tell people my name.
That's I mean, I know like to me that's more like a class or like just really like cast and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that's the only time I'm really in a situation where someone's like, "Hey, my name is blah blah blah. I go by these pronouns."
Yeah.
But it's more common in the arts world than I would say like outside world.
Yeah.
I mean, unless your teacher is like pushing that.
Yeah.
But like I don't really know any outside of COPA professors who were asking for that.
I've had a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I think School of Com is probably the next beneath COPA for like the gender spectrum thing with like people identifying as that, or at least people wanting to know
Right.
that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I still got a little bit of that when I was in School of Business. It's actually I don't know if I told you this. It's my goal to actually change majors every semester, and I'm gonna be at every school. So I'm gonna go to COPA next semester. I'm gonna put together a portfolio.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna be in I don't even know what, and then I'm gonna leave again, and I'm gonna go to every school of the university, so that by the end of the 4 years, I have no degree.
You wasted 4 years.
I'm kidding. That's not actually. My mom says, "What are you talking about?" My mom was, I'm kidding, Mom. I'm sticking with broadcast production.
I know your mom was
I didn't get as much of that in School of Business as what I was gonna say.
right.
But wouldn't that be hilarious if that was actually my goal? If I just switched majors every semester, my advisors would be like, "Who is this guy? Why do I have him next?" Like that'd be my thing. He's the guy that switches majors all the time.
And never graduate.
No, I never. I have like 8,000 credits.
People that switch their majors like 6 times.
There are, yeah. So I guess 2 really isn't all that bad.
So
No. I guess my brother switched twice
Mm-hmm.
and then dropped out and then went back. So I still have that, I guess.
That's different.
That
How many
is.
deja vu? Have we had this conversation before?
Like on a podcast or my
Yeah.
apartment? Maybe.
You said the exact same thing.
I don't. Did I?
Yes.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe I've just been dreaming of this day.
Maybe
to
not.
be back on this podcast.
Yeah, back on. 1 episode apart. And then there was the break, and then you're on again. No, 2 episodes. No, two.
Too.
2, yeah. That's all right, though.
I'm
You want to
back.
come on next week?
Yeah, I'm coming on next week, everyone. And we're gonna talk
No.
about other random shit.
This is the same stuff. It's just they don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
I had no clue where this one was going.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. Sometimes I like to make it structured,
Mhm.
depending on who it is. But I figured we would just do this.
Yeah, because
We
like
did.
we enjoy cars.
to fill space.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I just
th-
needed to fill
pretty
space.
much.
Yeah, pretty
After
much.
like
Now, you know I would have invited you on again anyway, but this
Yeah.
is just like the opportunity.
Yeah.
The fact that it was so on the flags, you're busy, and I was like, Miles, what are you doing tomorrow? He's like, nothing. I was like, let's go.
Let's go.
Podcast.
I'm here. We you know what we could talk about? What do you feel about Last of Us so far?
Oh, yeah. While we're going back to movies and stuff, I like it. I'm kind of a poser because I don't play the games. I might in the future at some point, but I haven't yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Good. I like Pedro Pascal a lot
Mm-hmm.
as an actor. I think he's good. It's a good looking show. Like visually, it looks good. They did a good job, I think, with the CGI and everything like that.
Right,
with
the
the
cityscape,
zombies.
yeah.
It looks good. Yeah, I think it's. I don't mean to only say that just it's good, but I want to see more of the show.
Yeah.
I want to just see the rest of it before I say anything else. I think. See, this one we have to be careful because spoilers, because people actually might be watching it. Not that
Oh.
we get our 11 million views per episode like Joe Rogan does. We
Who-
can spoil the show for everybody. But so far, it's very good. Yeah.
It's kind of cool because it's like a lot of the effects. It feels like it's like pulled directly from the game,
Yeah.
and you're just seeing these like living characters, and like they feel even more real than they do in the game.
Yeah. And at some point, they're going to get to Pittsburgh.
I
And
know.
Point Park is going to be in the show.
Yeah.
2 more episodes.
2 more episodes.
It's only 4 episodes.
No, like 2 more episodes, and then so there's 1 more episode,
And then it's Pittsburgh.
and then it's Pittsburgh.
Wow.
I'm excited,
and
yo.
Point Park is going to be in the shot. They're gonna run across. They're gonna run across Sky Bridge to get away from the zombies.
Yeah.
And Don Green is gonna jump out of nowhere and save everybody.
Listen,
His return to Point Park.
Don Green, Point Park. That's the perfect combo.
In The Last of Us, yeah,
yeah.
to save everybody from the zombies.
Because Point Park's colors is green and white.
This is true.
Don Green.
This
And-
is true.
And now, what are we left? Who are we? I feel like we have no identity. now.
We're nothing without Don Green now. We're nothing.
Why did he? Is he an international spy?
Infiltrating Point. What, to see how much debt we're in? Or just go fucking Google that and find out. No, I hope everything is okay. If it was really a family issue, I hope everything's okay with him.
Yeah.
I do, because he seemed like a really great guy.
All
He
jokes
really
aside,
did.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I honestly, from what I've heard, no one really knows why.
It's just weird.
It was a very strange time for that to happen. But you know why though? He left because he had to go film the Last of Us episode,
The last one was
where he's gonna save everybody from the zombies.
That's probably why. I'm excited, bro. Are they gonna see us? Is our school just gonna be covered in grass?
Like it is now.
Like it
this
is
is
now.
current Point Park.
Literally.
This is what the apocalypse looks like, and this is Point Park now.
We're just walking around.
They recruit
Pittsburgh's the same.
Yeah, like-
It's not changed.
unchanged. The bridge is still being worked on.
It's so cold as fuck.
Acrisure Stadium is still there.
Yeah.
That's an apocalypse in itself. Acrisure Stadium.
That's-
Yeah, it's just current Point Park.
like
It's not even-
there's still shit on the ground.
I think that's what they've been doing, because that last shot of the ruined city with all the vines, that's just modern day Ohio.
Yes.
That's just they're not even no CGI. They're just taking actual real shots of places.
You-
Same thing with Chicago.
Yeah. Do you imagine if like those type of zombies are real though?
They do exist in ants.
Yeah, I
The
know.
ants,
Thank
they
God.
exist. Yeah,
Thank God it's just ants.
yeah, they do.
Let's just keep it that way.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you don't, because it's creepy because it's just too real.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be surprising if like they could mutate and start affecting humans.
I mean, we see viruses and shit like that always mutating. I mean, COVID, there's like 13 different variants.
Yeah.
The newest one. Did I tell you about this? I
What?
named the newest COVID strain that I caught. I
What?
named it.
What'd you name it?
Cybertron.
Oh yeah.
Is there somebody out there? Are they coming in to record?
Oh.
Oh. Okay, well then we'll wrap. That's fine. We did, to be fair, we did go over our time. We started a little late.
Oh, we did.
But I did know, but I did. I named it Cybertron.
Yeah.
Because Omicron kind of sounded like a transformer to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to keep that same energy.
Cybertron.
I named it Cybertron. So I got Cybertron earlier a
I'm
couple weeks
sorry.
ago. It was all right. All right, we got to wrap here.
Yep.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
I love you, brother.
I love you too, man.
You're the best.
Invite me
Thanks for coming
again.
in. Listen, you'll be back.
Yes.
Miles, it's like the Marvel things. Miles Hanna will return in the Not Just Politics podcast season 3. All right, that's a wrap. Bye, everybody.
Bye.